I'm Dane Lambert. I'm on the basic board in a farm northeast of town.
Together.
A member of the fire department, and being on the basic board, just an active interest in what goes on at our home here in Frankfort. Well, I say the fire department, and actually it was just talking with the city council that we have in town here, and just being a part of their ideas for developing the community. It's home. Simple as that. You care about your home, you want to improve it. That's all there is to it. I thought it was a great idea. They didn't just rush into it. They looked at a lot of different options on how to do it. Size, seating capacity, what they're going to serve. You know, it's one thing if you have a business that you write a check for and you walk into and you start operating because everything's there. Right here in Frankfort, this was a bare piece of land, and so the questions and the issues and all that goes with it are quite a bit more complex than if you're just going to buy a business. Well, pretty much from the beginning, I'd say there was just no place to meet, nothing to do to speak of. It was a need that the whole community addressed. You know, as far as trying to even go out for supper, meet some friends for an evening out and stuff like that, you had to travel quite a ways before you got there. Some really nice places in the neighboring communities. Well, there's no reason why Frankfort couldn't be one of those places to go to also. So it was amazing how much support there really was in the entire community, and having such a young city council that was fired up and wanting to make this town better, it just made it all that much easier. Well, there again, it was pretty much from the beginning, because something like this, it's going to take money. That's all there is to it. It's got to come from somewhere, and nobody was going to bankroll this out of their pockets, so loans had to be made. But you can't have loans without, you know, doing your diligence and the paperwork and the cash flow and all the things involved with it. Oh, absolutely. I think this was a really good idea, because there again, it wasn't as though you're writing a check for a business. This is starting from the ground up, and for somebody to tie into an operation like that would be very difficult at best. So the city taking on the responsibility, proving that'll work, makes it that much easier. It means we're moving forward. I mean, we're not about to let the town die. There's events going on pretty much all year long, and having a bar as a general meeting place with other places too, but this is kind of the starting point for the whole community. It just makes it, people come together that much more, I believe. Well, a lot of people that you don't normally see in the community. I mean, you don't stop by as often as you should just to visit. I mean, very good friends, but you know, having them here, you're more apt to run across them here, and while you know, we may sit down and have a couple-hour conversation at random like that, and it just improves relations throughout the whole community, I think. Oh yeah. When they play ball up there in the summertime, they go from the little bitty bite-sized ones to even some old duffers that still try and play the game. And Frankfort has always had a proud tradition of playing ball, and it's a great location up there. It was just, it made a lot of sense to just keep it going for the future of the town. And it was in need of an upgrade, and they're in the midst of making all that happen now. The lights were there, but the poles were old and ready to come down, and you know, the requirements for the electricity up there weren't up to what needed to be done. So it wasn't just, okay, let's put up new lights. You kind of got to start with the groundwork and putting all new lines in and stuff. And we had some really good support from a lot of various utilities and businesses and stuff to help us do that.
So
Yep.
Tell us about that.
Yes, there is, and I think that was going to be a big benefit to the community. It's a project that's really kind of getting underway. We have a couple ball tournaments here in town, and generally speaking, they're all filled. Well, in the town of Frankfort, you have 18, 20 campers up there. That means people are coming to town because they want to be here. And the thinking as we go forward and the bathrooms get upgraded and stuff, it's just going to make it that much better place. A lot of wide open spaces and no electricity. So, yeah, you could put a camper up there, but there was no electricity, no nothing up there. Before we started working up there to make upgrades, there was no electrical facilities to plug campers in and such, and now we can fill it up. We can put 18, 20 campers up there without a problem, and everybody can have electricity. Water and bathrooms are coming in the future. There was some grants involved, community upgrade projects, matching grant loan deal things, and so that's where it kind of started. And it was the project kept growing as time went on. So it wasn't just about putting new poles in. It's been upgraded since then, obviously. And like I say, they're not done up there yet. So I don't know. It sure would have been more difficult to get the project up and going without BASIC. I believe this community is pretty resilient. Might have found a way, but BASIC sure helped along the ways, big time. It means community involvement, people getting together. What else you going to do? People like to go out for a drive, do some leisurely things. Well, taking in a ball game, watching a lot of the local competitors, it tends to be a pretty good time up there. Well, I know we've had some new governor houses put in, and we're going to have more in the future. Water's a little bit of an issue right now, but I'm pretty excited about it because we're just showing that this community isn't dead. It's moving forward, and it's going to be even a better place to live as all these projects start getting completed. Well, I believe most of these communities probably are having these conversations, and all I'd tell them is, yes, you can do this. It's all possible. You just do your diligence, and it will work. Reaching out to BASIC is a great way to start. There's no question about it. If nothing more than to contribute in ideas, talk about funding, talking about where the possibilities are as far as getting grants and loans and that sort of thing, it's a great place to start.